Welcome to Thomistic Womanhood. In today's video, we are going to continue our series on beauty, truth, and goodness. And this is going to be the intro video to the next section of the series, which is on truth. Naturally, when you are dating and you're attracting a man, there is a certain accuracy that you need to have about the whole thing. So, to be technical, we're going to talk about the definition of truth. I don't know if you saw my video on what is truth, but basically the actual definition, have you ever thought what exactly is truth? It's a concept that's kind of thrown around and nobody really defines it. But basically truth is when the mind has the same form as reality. And so when what's in here corresponds to what's out here, when there's a match there, truth has occurred. So you can see how important this is in dating. You want to know the truth about the guy you're dating. You want to know the truth of dating itself. What is the process? How is this supposed to work? And then you also want to have the truth about yourself. You want to have some self-knowledge, an accurate self-image, things like that. And so that's very important. And I think any series, anyone talking about how to date well or how to be feminine or how to attract men, you have to, involve the truth part of it. It's important to be beautiful. It's important to have a certain goodness and virtue to yourself, but it's important to also know what you're doing. And I mean that not in maybe a skill sense, but literally. There are so many misconceptions about dating nowadays and about men and about women and what do men want and what do women want. We've really lost touch with a lot of basic wisdom about men and women and relationships that, we need to cover the truth of things, having an accurate idea of things and how important that is. Yes, love is fun, it's romantic, there is a bit of hope and I don't want to say fantasy, but there is a certain dream there that is definitely a beautiful part of being in love, and it does make it fun. However, your dreams have to be grounded in reality, and that's important. So that is what we're going to talk about in this video and in this series as a whole. This was kind of a difficult section. There's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot of complex topics that fall under this heading, and I really feel like I'm going to try and kind of roll through them quickly like we did with all the beauty concepts, but each one of these, a few of these I could have made a whole series on each one of them. So we're going to try and go through them quickly, but just remember these are complex topics. So if you have questions, please, I encourage you to leave a comment, because when you're dealing with a complex subject on a medium like YouTube or TikTok or wherever this is going to be posted, our social media leans toward quickness. We like little sound bites, and some of these topics don't really lend themselves to quick sound bites, so it's easy to misunderstand something. So please ask a question if something sounds off. However, having said that, we're going to close with a quote. I'm sure you've heard this before. It is, "To thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day. Thou canst not then be false to any man." This is from Hamlet, this is from Shakespeare, and I think it kind of sums up our spirit that we're going over this series. You want to be true to yourself, and it's going to follow that you're not going to be false to anyone else. And so what that also means is if you can be true to yourself and you can be accurate about who you are and what you're doing, you will also attract better situations and better men into your life. There's also another saying, if you be real with people, they'll be real with you, whether they want to or not. The more accurate you are about who you are and how you present that to the world, and the more accurate of an idea you have of what you're doing when you're dating and when you're having a relationship, the more knowledge you have, the more you will see how other people are, because then they'll be reacting to that, and that will give you a more accurate idea of things. So that's the intro. It's a little rambly, but I hope that makes sense. So anyways, yep, that's that.